Social media is a modern boogeyman, blamed for the downfall of community and propriety and our own sanity. Allow me to present you with some science. In psychology and sociology, there's been a bunch of discussion about how social networks like Facebook can contribute to what's called the fear of missing out. It's the anxiety many of us have, some more acutely than others, that we're not living our best lives, especially compared with our peers. That we could be doing more things, connecting with more people, hugging more kittens, and having more fun. And social networking sites are linked to an increased fear of missing out. We now have solid digital evidence when our friends don't invite us to dinner, or when they have a lovely moment, like on a vacation or in a relationship, that we've never had. But how do we handle that anxiety, and what does it mean for our overall self-esteem? A new study out of Nottingham Trent University, published in the journal Computers in Human Behavior, shows a cluster of links between increased use of social media and lower self-esteem, all mediated through fear of missing out and a previously unresearched factor: online vulnerability. That's our exposure to negative feedback online, like critical or hurtful comments, harassment, and stalking. So, 489 participants ages 13 to 77 completed an online survey about themselves and their Facebook habits, including their social network size and their willingness to share personal and emotional information. There were also questions to determine their online vulnerability and to evaluate their self-esteem. The researchers crunched the numbers, and they found that when the participants experienced a fear of missing out due to Facebook, it drove some of them to share and participate more on Facebook, likely in an attempt to receive outside validation and boost their self-esteem back up. But that also opened them to experiencing more negativity, which means their self-esteem took another hit, which drove them to share and participate more, and so on. The researchers described it as a sort of self-imposed or self-regulated limbo. It's important to note that the participants skewed young. Over half were between the ages of 13 and 17. And the adults were recruited via online advertisements. And 489 people isn't the biggest sample size. So it's possible that the participants aren't a true sample of the overall population. Also important, this study certainly doesn't say that all users of Facebook and other social networking sites experience negative psychological effects. Some research has actually found benefits to increased social media use in lots of populations, including increased social support and self-esteem. Though this study did not find a direct link there. What this study is saying is that when a person does get anxious because of what they see on social media and then attempts to fix their anxiety with more social media, that can be damaging. Which, when you put it that way, sounds sort of duh. But one of the great things about science is when it finds ways to bring proof to what sounds obvious. Because in some other cases, attempting to find that evidence proves the obvious wrong. And these results imply some pretty excellent advice. If you're bummed by the internet, seek out better times offline instead of diving deeper. But what do you think about all this? Get in touch and let us know. And for more stories like this, check out our podcast, we've got one of those, or head over to our home planet, now.howstuffworks.com.